Hello, and welcome to Meet the Candidates. I'm Deanne Healy, your host, and joining me now is Beverley Griffin Dunne, who is a candidate for school committee. Bev, thanks for sitting down with me.
Oh, my pleasure, Deanne. Thanks for having me in.
Sure thing. So let's just start. You've been on the school committee for a while. How many years has it been now?
This will be the 22nd year.
22nd year. Okay. So for people that might not be familiar with you, why did you want to be on the school committee?
I always wanted to give back to Peabody because Peabody is the center of the universe. I tell people that all the time. And I was very interested in the school committee when I was a student in high school. So when the opportunity opened and I had often thought about doing it, I said, I want to do this. I want to work to make our schools better. I was one of the luckiest people because when we went to school, we had a great education, and I wanted to make sure everybody else was able to benefit from that. And at the time, I was very involved as a parent. Bob and I have 4 children, all went through Peabody schools, all proud PVMHS graduates. And at that time, being involved and seeing what was going on in the schools, I thought that I had something to offer with my background as a lawyer, being able to speak for people who either are unable to speak up in public or weren't sure where to go or how to find answers. And I was finding answers for people and talking on their behalf, and finally took that step and ran for office.
Oh, great. What have you seen over that? Has there been a change in the way, the school committee operates and just in the school systems in 22 years?
Lots of changes, really, a lot of changes. Some of the bigger changes specifically with Peabody have been the improvements over the years. It's funny, I'll talk to parents now, and they are shocked when they found out that we didn't have full-day kindergarten. We didn't have free full-day kindergarten. We didn't have a nurse in every school or a guidance counselor in every school. Those have all come through the years of working on the school committee to get those improvements into the school when we needed those to come forward. Those are simple ones. Right now, we're always trying to improve, and I think that's the part of education that's so important, that you're always trying to find the best way to give our students the best education possible. So over the years, teaching methods have changed. I'm not a teacher, but I know that the way that they learn, their curriculum in college has changed, and then it's changed because of what people have seen in the schools, and the teachers have adjusted to teach the children. That's why I always rely on the teachers. They know best of what works for kids. So that's changed, and just the needs. The needs of the students. Mental health is just such a huge issue right now. Social media, we didn't deal with that 20 years ago. I think there was MySpace back then. I can't even remember.
You're dating yourself.
I still use AOL, so yeah. But it's funny to see the differences, and a lot of times trying to explain the needs of the facilities to people. They say, "Why do you need a new building? It was good enough when I went there." And I'll say, well, when you went to school, did we have computers? No. I said, we didn't even have the proper electricity in our buildings to plug computers in. So just something as simple as that.
Right.
Security needs. We're so much more aware of security.
Right.
And we have to equip the buildings that way. But we also have to look at the way that the buildings house the students and the teachers to be able to give them the spaces that they need. Because, again, if you think back years ago, you had one guidance counselor that might make the circuit of all the schools. They probably met with students once in a clean supply closet, and that was it. Now we have to have spaces for people to have meetings, for special education, for IEP meetings. We have to have space for counselors to have a confidential space to talk with students. Our own nurses' offices, those had to be improved. So, yeah, there's been a lot of changes.
So, listening to you talk about all these changes, right, and they're really all additions, and they're all for the better.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine they put an awful lot of strain on the school budget.
They do.
And so I don't anticipate that that would be changing in the coming year. It only gets
No.
harder and harder each year.
Yeah.
So how does the school committee go about prioritizing what needs to get done? Because you can't
Can't do
make
everything.
you can't do everything, right?
Nope, you can't. That's when you rely on the superintendent
Mm-hmm.
and the administrators to tell us what direction they would like to head.
Mm-hmm.
We have a strategic plan, which we will be updating, and that's giving plans where we want to go, what we want to concentrate on. And then you have to build that into your budget. And it is really, really difficult. And I'll be honest, it was one of the things that I thought hard about with running for reelection,
Mm-hmm.
because I know we are coming into a very, very difficult time
Mm-hmm.
financially, philosophically. Huge changes
Right.
are happening around us.
Mm-hmm.
And with my experience and my training, I go on all kinds of training programs. I'm with the Mass Association of School Committees, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be elected as the president-elect. So at that level, what I've been working on is also with the National School Board,
Mm-hmm.
being able to bring good practices back and good things to look at to help with modernization and being able to balance the school budget. And also knowing, a lot of people think, oh, you should just ask for all the money you need. No, we're one part of a very complicated city.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be able to balance our request against what the rest of the city needs too, because you need to be able to pay fire
Sure.
and police,
Mm-hmm.
public works, plow the streets, fix the potholes. That all needs to be part of a huge
Right.
budget. So we're just one piece.
Right.
And sad.
Mm-hmm.
If we had all the money in the world, it would be wonderful. But that's
Right.
not how it works.
Well, part two of that question would be, because I think it kind of leads into the same thing. Communication has been a huge topic, right?
Yes.
And I think sometimes, parents get frustrated because all they see is on a school committee meeting, things being cut or feel like maybe they're not getting the due attention, but they don't see what happens behind the scenes. So how do you go about improving that communication so that parents feel like they're being heard as well as the teachers, who, they're advocating for their own kids, but also letting them understand that these decisions don't get made in a vacuum, that there's a lot of thought that goes into them. So how do you open that communication with them?
Communication is probably the biggest issue
Mm-hmm.
right now that can be taken care of pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. It's very, very frustrating, even on my level of not being able to get information that I'm asking for.
Right.
I'm an elected official. I know what I need. I know where to look
And you
for
know who
it.
to ask.
Right, and I can't even get it. And that's not right, because government is supposed to be responsive to the people. I always make sure when people ask me questions, I get them an answer, or I'll tell them, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to this, and I keep trying to find the answers for them. But one of the things that parents need to do is always to be aware, and that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the newspapers like we used to, where there was coverage constantly of issues. There is good coverage, but being able to know what's going on in your child's school and then in the bigger district
Mm-hmm.
really is important. And when I was a parent of little kids, I'm still a parent, but when my kids were young, being very involved at the school level, it is absolutely, in my opinion, it is key to know what is going on, what needs to be done,
Mm-hmm.
what can you do. And if there's nothing, at that level, ask a question. Ask the questions, keep asking,
Mm-hmm.
because people come to us with very good questions.
Mm-hmm.
People come with very good points about our website. It's horrible. I've said this for years. If I could make one, I'd do it. But things like that.
I might know
trying
a
to
web
get that.
designer now.
No, I know. That's the thing. We need to be able to give people up-to-date information and answer their questions so that they know what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's our job. That is our job. And I see it truly as the key to giving good constituent service.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say, well, you just represent the kids. No, I speak for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I represent 56,000 people in this city, whether they voted for me or not, whether they're even in school or not. I owe them my work. That is my job, to represent them, to get the information, to do what's right.
What's your opinion on how do you feel that overall the public school system is doing, in terms of graduation rates and
Well, we can do better, absolutely, but I do see improvements, and that's always encouraging. And I can see where we've done programs that have helped. People may not realize the Learning Academy up at the high school. I'm sorry, up at the shopping center, the mall.
Yeah.
That was started to stop our dropout rate. It has improved it immensely. And when we did that, Dave McGeaney said, if we save one kid, it's worth it. Well, we've saved over 130, and it's rising. And it's so encouraging to see students go forward, and then you hear later what they've done. They just needed some help.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I have seen the schools do, is to adapt to what is needed. We have the Learning Academy at the mall. We have Peabody Prep, which is online, very successful, and actually looked at by the rest of the state as a very successful program. Again, that has helped with our dropout rate and giving all the kids a good chance to graduate, because we always know that high school diploma is the key to everything.
Right.
And so that's what we keep trying to do, to make sure that we're giving kids what they need. Sometimes they may not fit in the program that we have. It's not cookie cutter.
Right.
We have to be able to figure it out and try to help them as much as we can.
I remember years ago when the Learning Academy opened and talking to one of the first students there, and she said, I thought I was stupid. I thought I couldn't learn.
Yeah.
And then she went to the Learning Academy and she realized I wasn't, and she wanted to go on to be a dentist. And I think that's what she became, but it was amazing.
That place is a
program.
miracle program.
Yeah.
It is. And we have miracles all the time in the school system, and
Right.
people don't think of it. Oh yeah, that kid graduated. That student went on. I feel like I went on thanks to my education. I want everybody to have that opportunity.
Right.
I do.
Yeah, that's great. So we have a new high school in the pipeline.
Yes.
Very exciting. What do you think what kind of changes that will bring about when it comes online? But also, what is your thoughts on bringing back some more of the technical programs to be in Peabody versus some of them that went away with the technical school?
Well, two things about me. One, I was against taking away the Peabody vocational program. And I am now the Peabody representative on the Essex North Shore Agricultural Technical School.
Of course you are.
And part of it is because how could you do that? I believe in vocational education. I wanted us to keep our own program because I knew at that time there were over 800 Peabody students trying to cobble together a vocational education for themselves. So we had 800 kids. We ended up going into the regional voc. It's an incredible program. Oh my gosh. I should take you up there to show you. And the philosophy is very different. And it's a philosophy that I would like to see take over public education seriously. The way that the students learn, they're learning what they want to learn. They don't get to slough off. They learn the same math, English, science, everything that anybody in a regular program learns. But they learn, they're there because they want to be there, which changes the attitude in school. So with our new high school, and I'm really very, very excited about it, and I'm very grateful to the mayor for letting me be in charge of the school building committee, because it is a lot of fun. It really is. This will be the third one. I did Higgins, Welch, and now this one.
Oh, okay. So you got it all under your
Yeah,
belt.
and you learn something with each part of the process. But with the high school, a lot of the innovation that we're going to bring into that program will help us to go way into the future, which is what you're always looking at in education. I mean, George Peabody got it right. He said education, a debt due from present to future generations. And it's true. When you are working in education, you're looking you're looking at today, you're looking at tomorrow, but you're doing something that's going to take effect maybe years down the road.
Sure.
So with the new high school, what we need to do is put in space for more CTE programs, career technical programs, so that we are able to provide to more students. Because, Deanne, this is really amazing. I was shocked by the numbers. If you add the number of students who currently go to Essex North Shore and the current number of students at Peabody High School who are looking for vocational education, it's still 800.
Wow.
All those years, that number is held. And I don't know the percentage, but I was amazed when I realized that. That's telling right there. And that makes me feel confident. We're going in the right direction, fixing the high school to accommodate our needs. That's important. We do need new systems. Being able to have a secure facility is always important. And actually, it has to be designed differently because with a CTE program, a lot of the public has to be able to come in, for the cosmetology, for culinary arts. That's one of the nice things that our students will be able to deal with the public, and the public will be able to enjoy what the students are learning.
That's great.
Yeah, it'll
Love
be
that
fun.
idea. Yes. Well, we are coming up against our time limit. So why would you tell folks that they should cast a vote for you in the upcoming election?
I would appreciate their vote because I want to continue. I feel that my experience, my dedication, my education on so many of the issues, and my desire to do the very best, I've never wavered on that. I really feel that I work for 56,000 people and I want to do a good job for them. I think that I have been doing a good job all along, and I'd like to continue. And I would thank everybody who would consider me and who would give me a vote, because I've still got a lot of things that I want to see happen. And I think it's so important for Peabody to have an educational system that is representative of the center of the universe.
I love that. I love that. We talked about a lot of different areas. Is there anything that we didn't touch upon that's near and dear to your heart that you want to work on in the next year or two?
Gee, no, I think you asked great questions. And I will say one of my priorities right now is on communications from the district. We have to be able to get the information out to the public. We need to be able to stand behind what we say also. And people deserve that. And it really is an important piece of public service. And that's what this is. I wanted to be able to give back, and I'm lucky to have been people have allowed me to do that, and I appreciate it.
That's great. Well, Bev, thanks for sitting down with me today, and best of luck in the
Thanks,
election
Deanne.
in a few weeks.
Thank you.